Hey Collective, it's Quantum Brownie here on a Thursday the 8th of the 9th, 2022. And it looks like we're almost there. So with that said, I want to start today by doing a demonstration on how to open up a Lobstr wallet. This video will be used to be able to produce other shorter videos to assist people in how to do the various process. But what we'll do today is open a brand new account. We'll fund the wallet externally, and we'll also have other people donating XLM into the wallet, so you can see the process happening. And then from there, we will buy some unopened assets from the spreadsheet. We'll then also to buy some open assets from the spreadsheet, and then we'll use SDEX Explorer and Stellar Expert to show you how to navigate and how to do things. So this video will be an all-encompassing video to try and give you as much information as we can to show you how to do all the processes that are involved with Lobstr. So with that said, I'm going to do a screen share. Screen 2. Okay, everyone's over there, so I will just go straight over to here. So here we go. This is the place where it all starts, which is essentially the screen lobstr.co, where you can then either sign into your existing account or you can just get started, which will do that. So get started. Okay, so from here, you see you have the ability to put an email and a password and confirm the password. That's what we do to create an account versus if you already open an account, you would just naturally sign in. So with that said, oh God, bear with me. I just want to grab that, not fuck it up. Okay, so here is the email address associated with this new account. And I'm just going to pop in the password that I've got ready for that as well. Okay, get the space out of there, it would help. Ta-da, ta-da, and create account. Okay, so now what it's doing is it's going to ask to verify email address. So I'm just going to grab my account over here, and then I'm going to wait for an email to come through, which is essentially what it's saying is it wants your email address to be verified. So before I can sign in, I need to get that email come through. Sometimes it does take a while with Gmail, although in this case here I do have this email address is forwarded to Gmail, so it just might take a little bit longer than normal, and of course we can edit that out in the shorter videos. But the key thing here is that you're using a valid email address. Now, whether that email address is Gmail or Proton Mail or something else that you've already got, here we go. It's just come through. Verify email address, and I'll just pop it over here so you can see it. Email address is verified. Sign in, and then voila. I'm signing into the account after I've verified my email address. And just off camera, what happens is you get an email coming in, and literally it's a big bold verify email button. Hit that, and then you come to this screen. Okay, from here, then we need to create a Stellar wallet address. Now, what this basically means is that this is your unique wallet that does sit on the Stellar blockchain. It's unique to you, and it's very private in that the next step, which is to create a Stellar wallet, what it's going to do, it's going to give you a series of 12 words, which is a passphrase, and it's something that you need to copy and put somewhere safe and secure and print it out and keep it offline. You never, ever, ever, ever want to save this information, nor your password, nor your secret phrase you never want to save it on the cloud anywhere. The only online system I trust is Signal, which is end-to-end encrypted communications. So sometimes when I'm helping someone with a wallet, I'll transfer the details via Signal, but that's the only way. So with this, I'm going to take this off camera and bring it over here. And all I'm doing is hitting the button that says create stellar address, and then it comes up with those words. I'm copying the words and then I'm putting them into a Word document before I then print that out and make 2 copies and put one in a safe location and the other in another very safe location. So with that said, once you've copied it, it'll ask, I understand I need to save my recovery phrase. So I acknowledge that by ticking and I hit the continue button. And then it comes up with so I'm gonna move this back over. So you can see here's the fresh account. And you can see that it's brand new, nothing's happened to it. So the next thing we're going to do is go into our settings. Now sometimes it will come up automatically and ask you for your passphrase, for your federation address to set that. In this case it doesn't, but I'll do it now anyway. So a federation address, what is that? That is your unique identifier on the blockchain. So on Stellar, well, yeah, the blockchain. So the idea is that you can transfer value via a federation address. So the federation address I'm using in this example, in this account, is collective admin. I hit the save button, and now it's set. So now anyone who wants to send XLM to this wallet, all they're going to do is take that address and then add it to their contacts. So I might do an example of that right now, adding a contact. So in this example here, if we go to contacts, add contacts, I'll put in my personal one, QUANTUMBROWNIE star lobstr.co QB. So in doing this, what I've done now is I've saved me and my personal account as a contact in this account, and this is how you essentially can save any federation address into your wallets. So this is how we transact, either by sending or receiving tokens, that be that XLM or any other token that's on the Stellar network. So that's an example of contacts. The next thing we always do once you've set your federation address is go to settings, and there's a number of things we have to do. The first thing we want to do is reveal our secret key, copy that secret key, and put it in the same place that you put your passphrase. So again, I'm going to go and move this offline so that I can hit the button, reveal secret key, continue, put in the password, confirm password, and then it will come up with a big long string of letters, and then I save that in the same area where I saved my recovery phrase, or secret phrase as they call it. And then I've done that, and then I can simply then I'm going to bring that up again. There you are. Then close that. So I'll bring this back over into view again. So now what I've done is I've saved that secret key. So this here, for example, by the way, is your Stellar address. That's your public address. In that, with that address, anyone can view that address on the network and see what's in that account. So it's like a window to your world as such. You don't have to give it, you don't have to provide it to anyone, but you know, the bottom line is that if someone does know your federation address, your Stellar public address, all they can do is see your coins. They can't touch them because it's your public address, as they call it. So with that said, then we'll go into profile. And really the only thing I do there is change the currency to the local currency. You can put your name and phone number and set that if you want to. With all the address, all the wallets I've got, I don't bother doing that, but you can do if you want to. We go into security and we enable two-factor authentication. Now, two-factor is very, very important in that this is the way, it's a second layer of protection when you log into your account. So when you log in your account, you use your email address and password. And then if you're logging in and your IP address has changed at any time, but perhaps you're using a VPN or whatever, it will send an email to you saying to verify your IP address. So you can do that quite easily by when the email comes through, click on the green button and it takes you to the log on screen and then you go in. So that's another layer of security. The next one is the two-factor. So what you need to do is use on your phone an app. I prefer to use 2FAS. That's the name of the app. You can download it from the Google Store or from the iPhone thingy as well. And then from there you can set up the two-factor. Now how that works basically is that when you click the enable button, it's going to come up with a QR code and it's going to come up with a key for that 2FA. So again, I'm going to do this off camera because obviously it's again security. So all I'm doing is I'm clicking the enable button, and then it says that to if you haven't installed a 2FA, I mean they recommend Google Authenticator, but we, personally most of us use 2FAS. So hit the next button and it comes up with a QR code. So I use my 2FAS. I click the red button down below to scan the code. So I simply scan the code. Now I've got it here and it says that it's Lobstr. I can customize. So I'll change the name to Collective Admin. ADMIN. And then I can change the logo if I want. And I'll just do that and save. So now I've got it in my 2FA down the bottom there. So I'm going to need that in a minute when we go to the next step. The next step, once you've clicked the QR code and set it up on your phone, you hit the next button, and then it comes up with a string of letters and numbers, and this is your 2FA backup key. So hit the copy button, and then you would paste this in the same area where you paste all the other information, because you want to keep it all together in one spot. So I've done that, and now that I know that, I've got to then hit the next button, and then as part of the process, you then it asks for your password for that new account again, and then it wants you to hand write or hand type the key that you just copied. Apologies, I've just enabled transcription. Okay, so now what I'll do is I've got to literally bring up my, just bear with me because I'm working on different direction screens. I've got to now off camera, I've got to literally type in or retype in the 2FA backup phrase. And then it says to put in the one-time password. So I look down at the 2FA app, and then I put in the token that is currently available for that, and then click enable, and it's done. So I'll move that back over to the share screen, and you can now see that I've enabled two-factor authentication. So what we've just done there is the basis of every account. It's what you should be doing all the time. The next thing is to set it up so that you can, it's more usable. The first thing you do is this one here. It says hide scam assets from search. Now this is a new feature, people. So if you've got accounts and you've never done this process, please go into either your phone or the browser and disable that. As we know, the good assets that are on the spreadsheet, the assets that are part of the QFS, they've all got triangle scam alerts or warnings on there, and that's all because Lobstr nefariously has been trying to stop us from buying these assets. So it's almost like what Q says, think mirror, in that if you want to be able to search for the correct assets via domains or by ticker symbols, you need to disable the hide scam assets. Okay, so it's important that it's disabled, and also to see here, hide memos, transaction memo. I'm going to disable that as well, because I won't be able to see a memo on transactions coming in. Next thing I want to do is go over to notifications, and I'm telling you now, if you don't want to be driven nuts by lots of emails, basically all I would do is make sure that's unticked, so you don't get emails for small payments. I basically untick all that stuff there, just so you don't get bombarded with emails. When you look at your phone in this section, there's a lot more detailed ability to tick certain things. So just go into your phone, and you'll be able to still get notifications if a payment comes through, but any micro payments, what we call airdrops, don't show up. But I think it's important that you sort of try and clear the clutter as such, so you don't get too many emails coming through. Now, with that said, that is the basis of a transaction, of setting it up. So if we go to the asset screen, which is the main screen we go to, this is where you'll see all your assets and your available XLM and so forth. So now with that said, I'm going to go over to another screen, and I'm going to log into my CoinSpot account, or one of, to give a demonstration of how to transfer XLM from one account to another, or from exchange into Lobstr. And with that said, exchanges, CoinSpot. I'm going to log into that one again. 2FA. I'm loving 2FA. It's beautiful. It's Google, CoinSpot. Oh, it's running out. Bear with me. Okay. Oh, great. I thought I had some money in this account. I've used it all. I'm bare in my account. Does anyone, by the way, if anyone on the call could send some XLM over to that account with the Federation address, that would be handy, because I'm now going to log into another account to find something with. I've got some money. Okay.
Can you show the Federation?
Oh, right. I put it in the chat earlier. If you look in the chat, Yeah, at 10:05 is the Federation address that I'm referring to for the collective admin. I'm just logging into another account, guys. Just bear with me.
Just Brownie, with that, when you first create a wallet on Stellar, and I've just done a search. I've gone to Stellar Expert. I've done a search for the Federation address.
Oh, because it's got
and it doesn't show the issue address.
Until we get a mount in
yeah,
it, yeah.
That's why we can't get to it, I think, right now.
Yeah, you're right. Very valid point. Okay, so I'm just going into another account and I'm just going to buy some XL. What's my available funds? Approximate value. Oh, I've got some USD coin here. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll transfer that, swap that into XLM. Sorry, guys, I should have been a little bit more at XLM. Swap. Incorrect amount. Oh, sorry. That would help. Okay, good. Okay, so what I've done in this account is I've just swapped some USDD over to XLM. So now what I can do is in this demonstration, I'll bring this account over and I'll just show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer some XLM from an exchange over to this account. The way you do that is that you need to find the Federation, so the public wallet address. You can do it one or two ways. Either go into settings, and there it is there, and you can copy that, or we can go to receive and over to Stellar address, and that's the address there, and copy address. I like doing that because then you're making sure you're copying the address and you're not missing anything. So now I've copied it here. What I'll do is I'll go over to this account, bring it on screen, and I'm going to send this over. So I'll send, say, 70 XLM over, and I'm pasting in the address I got from the Lobstr wallet, and then I'm going to put my two-factor in for this account. And then I'm going to go over to my emails on another screen, and then I'm going to approve the dispatch of that payment over to
Ron,
Lobstr.
I just sent you 20.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for the solid. Okay, so I've just confirmed the address. So now if I go into assets, actually the transactions be better. Okay, great. So I've got okay, a number of people have sent through, and then now I'm waiting for the payment to come through from my account. Okay. Right. Okay. Whilst that's coming through, let's just get started on the process of buying. Now we have some XLM in there. Okay, so what we have here is 170 currently of XLM. What we can do is buy some open assets. And whenever I start with an account, I like having people buy the base assets. And to me, the base asset, if all you ever did was go into open assets. So this is a spreadsheet here. This is the current spreadsheet here, September the 7th. And we go into open assets by clicking on the icon and then clicking on the address, or you can just click on open assets there. Either way, it takes the same place, which is this long list here of domains that are open. Now, what a domain is basically a series on a domain is a series of assets that are attached to that domain. So if you got the right domain, you'll always see the right assets. So if you scroll down the bottom here to S, to Swiss custody. This is the domain that I like to have people buy from. First up, so Swiss custody, and I click on the link, and it brings over to the spreadsheet, and it brings up all the actual URLs for those assets. So the ones highlighted in yellow, the ones I like everyone to have as a basis at least, and then you can go through and look at some other ones. These are basically seized assets and currencies. So the ones that are the biggest one of all on Lobstr is sovereign gold bonds. So if we highlight, we click that, and then we click on that link down below, it brings it up, and it brings it straight up, as you can see, straight into the spreadsheet. So what you can do then is then add the asset. Every time you add an asset, in the background, it's going to hold in security, shall we say, half an XLM for every asset that you secure to your personal wallet. So right now, it's adding the asset to the blockchain. And now, as I'll buy some of this, and I'll give you a demonstration of how you can see that on the blockchain. So I'm going to do a swap. I like to, anything that's open, I like to swap it if I know the value of that asset is less than 6 zeros and a 1. And all these particular ones are, so I swap. So I know exactly what I'm getting for the price. Now, by default, it has the asset up top, and it's got the XLM down below. Now, I want to swap it around the other way because I want to sell some XLM to buy the asset. So I hit this button here in the middle, and we just flip it around. So now the XLM's up top, and you can see my availability has just gone up. So obviously that money I sent through before has now gone through. Beautiful. Okay, so now if I just go, say 50 XLM on this asset, you can see the rate for sovereign gold bonds is 9 zeros and a 3. That's why I'm saying it's less than 6 zeros and a 1, and that's why I would swap it. That's how much I'll get in this transaction. So I'll simply hit the swap and buy, confirm the swap, and now what it's doing, it's taking that XLM I've allocated, the 50 XLM, and swapping it for sovereign gold bonds. Sovereign gold bonds, by the way, is the biggest asset on Stellar that I've seen, in that there's something that would have 2.4 quadrillion coins or tokens for that asset. And let's face it, there's a lot of gold being seized by the white hat, so you need a lot of tokens to divvy that up as such. So if we go back to the assets, now we can see added to our wallet, we can see the sovereign gold bonds there has been added, and we can see our XLM that we have there available. Now, what we can do also too as a demonstration is show you, if we go to home, we can see how that XLM is broken up. And this will become important, not now, but later on. You want to know what you've got going on in the background. So in this example here, all we've got is one asset added. And like I was saying, that one asset is secured by half an XLM. So in reserve of XLM is the base reserve, 1 XLM to keep the account open, half an XLM for that new asset we just added. There it is there, and it shows our available balance right now to spend is 388, which we'll do right now, have some more fun buying some assets. So again, I'll go over to the spreadsheet, and we'll go over to REIT. Now I'm going to show you a shortcut here. Now, by default, I brought it up on the trade screen, but and like I said before, what we want to do with these type of assets is swap them, not trade them. So a shortcut that many of us know is that we can go up the top in the URL where it says trade. We can backspace and go swap. Enter. Oh, fuck it. Why did it not work? It should have worked. Trade. Did I not do it right? SWAP. Why? Now I'm just stuffing up my own demonstration. Why did that not work?
You're using capital, it should be lowercase.
Right, thank you for that. You're right. Well, I must have the caps lock on. Okay. Oh, I did too. I had the caps lock on when I was doing the secret, the passphrase, the 2FA thing. Thank you for that. Okay, so you can see there, I did a shortcut going straight to the swap screen, and then I can revert it so the XLM is up top. Now, by doing this, for example, because I haven't created the trust line or added asset, when I do this purchase, it's going to firstly create the trust line and then do the transaction in one go. So this is like a shortcut that we've developed over time. So let's just say we do 20 XLM on that, brings up how much, and the current exchange rate, which is 9 zeros and a 3, still pretty good. We swap, buy, confirm. Oh God, so many steps. There we are, done. Now, whilst that's working in the background, I'm now going to talk about unopened assets. And unopened assets is what I think for a lot of us who have been involved with the collective for a while, this has been our main driver, in that we've known through Donald Trump's 3 executive orders that he's effectively seized the world's wealth, and it's been laid out on Stellar. So we've had the opportunity to go into unopened assets here, and then we'll be able to purchase these assets for as little as, for 1 XLM, which is right now is 10 cents, getting 2 billion plus tokens. And when they open, then the assets find a value. So you can see here that this is our unopened section. Now, we've had over 100 domains open up over the last year, and this is what's left. And we've sort of kept it so that you can see the gaps. Now, what we can do is we can click on the domain, and then go straight to the asset. Now, these are ones that are unopened. What that basically means is that you place the order, you won't see them, you won't see any value in your account. All you'll see is a 0 balance because the order isn't filled yet. So it's like an IPO where you are an early investor getting into something before it even lists. In this case here, because we know the companies like Apple and Broadcom and all these companies, we know them and they know they're valid. So we're buying companies that are a going concern at pennies on the dollar as such. So let's just say, for example, go to AMD, we click. We don't click, we hover. It comes up with the URL, and we hit the trade button. Now, if you do use the spreadsheet to do this process, you're going to find by default with all these unopened assets, you'll always see the asset itself is on the right, and that's what you want. So the key is when you are buying an unopened asset on the right. If the asset is open, then you want the asset on the left. Now, just for the example, I'll show you how to change that. It's simply similar to what we did with the swap. We go in the middle here and we just swap them over. And so that's how you'd have it if it was an open asset. We know it's not, so we'll go back to where it should be. The other way we know that it's an unopened asset is this. It says no activity for a select period of time, which basically means it hasn't traded yet. So this is their opportunity to get into this particular company before it opens up. So we're looking down here, and you can see by default, we always have the buy button. But because we're buying an unopened asset, we hit the sell button. We're selling XLM into this order. The other aspect too is you'll know that over here, this is the current order book over here. And the majority of people are putting orders in at the 2 billion or around this mark here. If people are putting orders in that are really low like this, they're not going to get good value for their money. But what I teach people, or as a collective we teach people, is we put in how much you want to spend, say 20 XLM. We then we then put in a price. And the price that we've been using it late, which is a very simple one, is 2147 and 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that shows you the amount of tokens you receive when this asset opens up. So it's effectively 20 times that amount there. There it is there. And we simply hit the sell button, buy anyway, confirm, and now it's going to place that active order. And that active order is going to sit down here in my orders as an active order. And there it is. So that will sit there until the domain itself opens up. Now, for a lot of these domains, they've been around for months, and a lot of us have active orders been sitting there, and which basically means we've had XLM allocated to these orders. They do fill. I mean, we've seen over 100 domains, well and truly over 100 domains opened up over the last year, and we've seen the benefit of seeing those tokens in our wallets. So we never know when a domain is going to open up, but my intelligence suggests that they will all open up before the event. In that we're going to see a collapse of the Three Gorges Dam. We're going to see the unfortunate timing death of our beloved Queen, and then we're going to see the assets fill, and then the event in earnest where everything crashes and goes to zero. That'll also mean your wallets, your Lobstr wallet, its value will go to zero as well. So don't be disturbed when everything goes down, that you see that you've looks like you lost everything in your Lobstr wallet. You haven't. This is just part of the whole revaluation, because after the event, we'll see gold, silver, XLM, and XRP increase in value tremendously, and so will our assets. And like I've always said, that will be boom number one. Boom number two will be when the rest of the world, the newly awakened, go, holy crap, I can see how the old system's so corrupt. This is the new system, and they'll be piling into Lobstr, not Lobstr, but into these assets. Remember that Lobstr, all it is a window to the Stellar blockchain. So there's Lobstr, Stellar Stellar Term, Scopely. There's a number of different exchanges out there, but just by default, those who've been following QSI and Whiplash over the months and years, this has been the most easy exchange to use as such. So just be aware that the whole idea is that we are trying to accumulate as many tokens as we can before the event, which could well be, very close. But the idea is we are trying to accumulate these tokens. We don't care what the value of account is right now. And yes, our account does glitch and, oh, I'm a billionaire, hey, for 5 minutes, and it goes down. That's all fun and games. But at the end of the day, it's purely about how many tokens that you can put in your wallet before the event, because then with that newfound wealth, it's not about buying Gucci handbags and Ferraris. It's about, yeah, sure, by all means, be comfortable. No problem with that. Take a holiday, you deserve it. But it's about then helping humanity moving forward. And that's why we've created these building funds, project funds, in order to have an infrastructure to help rebuild the world. Not saying that we are the be all and end all, but we are a part of the wealth distribution, and that's how I see the collective moving forward after the event. It's about with that newfound wealth, making sure that humanity is well looked after. So with that said, I'll just reiterate, all active orders go down here. Now, you can accumulate orders, but once you hit 200 active orders, you will not see them any further down in your history. Okay, so on the computer, you only see your oldest 200. So any new active orders over 200, you won't see them on your PC. But if you log into your account on your phone and go to the order screen, it's the opposite. Your newest orders are at the top and your oldest orders are down the bottom. So if you are above the 200 and you're wanting to see your earlier your more current orders, have a look on your phone and you'll be able to see them. Because sometimes when you're button mashing and you're placing all these active orders, it may well be that you've inadvertently put in rather than 2147 and 6 zeros, you might have put in 5 zeros. And you'll see it as you scan down to go, oh, that's the wrong one. I'll just cancel that order. And by the way, you can cancel your order by hitting that little X there. And then that will takes about 30 seconds. It will then cancel the order and you can start again perhaps. But keep in mind that if you cancel an order, the trust line still exists. So if you don't want that asset, you'll have to remove that trust line. Or you can go in and readjust the order accordingly. So what I'll do for the sake of the exercise is I'll do one more example of an active sell order. So I'll go back to run that through again. So we go into the unopened assets. We see them there up the top. And then by the way, what we do is when a domain does open, we'll then take them off here and then put it into the open section so you can always see them there. So in this example here, we've got a natural gas. And I like the Saudi company, so I'll just go to this one here for the Saudi company. Up it comes. Again, the asset is on the right as it should be. No activity period of time. We hit the sell button. We put in our XLM. We put in the price 2147, 123456. Sell. And then that again is going to go down into your active orders. Okay, so that's the example. Now we've done open orders and we've done unopened orders. So I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet itself, and I'm going to go into the open orders just to run through what we're actually seeing down there. Again, this is another way to buy other open orders. So for example, we look down here and we see the ones that are hyperlinked have got pages behind it where you can click on the assets and bring it up into your account and buy. Others, for example, I want to go to the Australian Mines, for example. Here's the Australian Mines.digital. This one here, we would go over and click on STX Explorer and click on that. Now, STX Explorer is essentially a window to the whole Stellarverse. Any asset that is open will be shown here. So for example, if I've just did an example of buying semiconductors in that domain. If I went to semiconductors, on this example here, I'll have to go back and grab that. I don't grab it for now. Oh, I will. I'll go and grab it. Bear with me. I've started the demonstration. I might as well finish it. Bear with me. I'm just going off camera, grabbing that. So I'm grabbing semiconductors, and I just want to show you what I mean by this. So hit the search button, and you see no assets. That simply means that domain hasn't opened up yet. But if you looked at any of the domains in the open section of the spreadsheet and you punch it in, you'd always find it. So I'm just going back to where we were with Australian Mines. So here are the assets for these are all the Australian mines, and God, there's a lot of them now. So what you can do is see a mine you like, say Galileo. You click on it. You see the trade button. You click on the trade button. And like I was saying before, there are three major exchanges that you can use. We use Lobstr, but you know, the links go to each of those exchanges. In this case here, we'll go to Lobstr, and it brings it straight up into our account. And notice that it's an open asset. So guess what? The asset is on the left. And you can see there is a chart because it's active. So with this open asset, we can go down, and remember the value, or the current price of this asset is way more than 6 zeros and a 1. It's 60 XLM is the price of this asset. So if I come down here and I put, say, 10 XLM into that, I'm getting a fraction of a token, and I buy it. That's how you buy an open asset, by, in this example here, going to the spreadsheet, grabbing the SDEX Explorer link, finding the asset, hitting the trade, going to Lobstr, bring it up, and then from there you can buy the asset. So that's another example of how you buy an open asset. I'll just close a few of these things down now. The other way is you can also look at it on Stellar Expert. Now, Stellar Expert is essentially, I might just go back to Australian Mines as an example. Stellar Expert is, again, our direct window to the Stellar blockchain. And in here, we can see everything. Associated with this issue address, as we call it, this unique issue address has all these mines added to it. So you can see them all here. You can see the number of trust lines or people who've got those assets attached to their wallets. Everything is visible, and you can see. So we can quite easily go into one and see that particular asset. And as you can see here in this example here, not a lot of activity, and there's no liquidity, meaning that if you try and sell the asset, you get nothing for it. A lot of these things will not have liquidity until after the event. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for Protocol 20, which is slated to come out on September 11, 3 days away. So let's see what happens after that. So now, while I've got this open, whilst I'm showing you the Stellar Expert, let's go back to our wallet, and now we can actually view this wallet on SDEX Explorer. So if we're going to receive, go back to our Stellar wallet, copy our address, then go back to Stellar Expert, go over here and paste our wallet address in there. There we are. These are the assets that we've bought thus far. There's the one that we just bought just recently, and these two here are the unopened orders. So you can see they've got a zero balance, and that's because we placed that order against that asset. So this is why, for example, when we talk about our building funds and so forth, they're transparent. You can actually see the assets on Stellar Explorer by when you know what the public wallet address is. So that is the SDEX Explorer and the Stellar Expert. But a good example here could be if we go to Stellar Expert, I'll go back to where we were. I want to show you something. Go back. Okay, so let's just say it was, I want to get, let's say you didn't know, or you had access to a wallet address. So this here is the address for Bellevue. What you can do is you can highlight the issue address, highlight issue address and the actual ticker, and you can see it's got a dash in between. I can bring this straight up into Lobstr. by simply going up here whilst in the trade screen, I can just go back to the old one I've got up, paste it in. Now I've got to change this hyphen to a colon, and then hit that, and then up it comes. So back in the day when we were having issues with domains, this is one way that we're able to get around things, to be able to navigate. So that's a shortcut as well. The other thing I want to address as well is by searching for assets via domain. So I'll just go to assets, and I'll give an example. Because I've hit that button in settings where I've taken off that hiding scam assets thing. Now I can go into say exlm.org, which is, oops, didn't even type it there. exlm.org, and now I've just brought up all the Elon Stellar assets just by pasting in a domain. And it's from there, for example, I can go down. The one I know that's it's still available is Vault, which hasn't paid out cash back yet. I'll find it first. Where are you, Vault? Oh, there is it. I can click on that and add the asset. And then I can place a trade order against that. This is an example of one of the assets that is now live. So I'll just chuck in 20, and now this asset is going to pay a daily dividend based on the amount of tokens that I hold. So that's that example. So the other example of how to quickly go through and grab a bunch of assets too, if you know the domain, is you can grab the domain off the spreadsheet. You can go straight up. I'll make sure that we're doing a unopened asset example. So the asset is on the right. We click on that. We go to all assets. I paste in this semiconductor domain. You know that I've already got one there already. I placed that order before, and I can click in straight away, go down, sell 20. So this is how you very quickly, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sell. And then I can, whilst that's doing that, I can actually go into the next one and grab the next one down. And in the background, the other one's added. And then, you know, so when you get the hang of this, 6, you can quite quickly add a lot of active sell orders when you know the process, and you can see them all there starting to load up. So what I've done in this demonstration is I've opened the wallet, set up everything with all the settings, the 2FA. We've secured all the information, which is now on a document which I can now print out, 2 copies, put one aside, say in a safe, another one somewhere else, because that information is so important for you. It's the only way you get a recovery account if something goes wrong. So we've done that. I've shown you the process of people being able to transfer asset value via federation addresses. We've had a number of transactions happen here. We can see people have added funds to this wallet. You can see that I gave an example of how to move from exchange over to the wallet as well, the account as well. We've gone through the unopened asset process by using the spreadsheet. We've done the open assets process with the spreadsheet. I've shown you how to bring up an asset via STX Explorer, and I've also shown you how to view an asset or your own wallet on Stellar Expert. And I've shown you some shortcuts how to flick between trade screens, asset screens, and swap screens. So this demonstration has been an all-encompassing one, which we'll put out onto YouTube to give people a good go-to-woe on how to open up the account. So I'm hoping everyone online has enjoyed the process. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll stop recording from now. Okay, guys, that was it. Trying to encapsulate in my brain. I'm trying to encapsulate every bit of what people should know and how to set up their accounts before they get too far involved. So I'm hoping there's a few little tips there that you know about, particularly being able to disable the hide scam assets, because that's the way you find the real assets, which are supposedly scam assets. Once you can do that, then you can really, to be honest, you don't need the spreadsheet. And once you unhide that, literally you can just use the domain, as we were doing prior to this rubbish going down. It's much easier just to be able to grab well, as I was showing in the last section demonstration, how quite quickly you can get in the habit of adding a bunch of assets using the domain when you're doing the unopened assets. So with that said, guys, I will open up for questions, and we'll take from there. Hands up, guys, and we'll answer. Oh, Michelle, I'm sure you know everything, darling, but I'm sure. But
sorry, I had to go move away for a bit. Did you explain what a trust line is and that it uses 0.5?
yeah, I did. Yeah, and I went into the
summary.
on the home. Yeah. So what I should have done, to be honest, is I should have gone into it again after, so they can see all. I did it with one asset, but I should have went in at the end and go, now you can see all the allocations and so forth, but that's okay.
And
okay.
Also just mention about the adding Aqua and USDC.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Yes, guys, you should always have Aqua as a trust line and USDC. So there you go.
And the USDC because
Get paid dividends.
yeah, that's where the dividends go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
No worries. I see Danette is hand up.
Okay, I think I got it unmuted. I have actually two questions now. Michelle just brought up the point about the dividends. So does that mean that, like I just did for the first time last week, the Elon, the vault, I think that one that wasn't open yet. And then I did a bunch of the other ones. So I wasn't going to get the cash back, but you're still going to earn the dividends if I understand correctly.
That's right.
Is she saying that the dividends you would earn on any one of those Elon ones, that goes into USDC or state?
No, just to clarify, Elon's are in XLM. And it just goes into your normal XLM account, and you'll see it in your received section in transactions. What we're referring to, and I'll take a step back here. Go back a year ago when we had Swiss custody as a domain that everyone was buying into quite heavily, and then we started to see Indus payments, so Indus Exchange come out. And what we were given is 2 websites to register our wallets. And that stopped about a year ago. So we haven't been worrying about it. But in doing that process back then, it was instructed, make sure you have a USD trust line, even if there's no money in it, like you haven't got any US dollars in there, but have an open trust line so that we can get paid dividends. So our understanding is that when we get on the other side and we have the liquidity event, which could be as soon as 3 days away, according to the whole Stellar Protocol 20, when we'll get paid dividends. So keep in mind that we call these things not coins. They're not coins. Yeah, the tokens, but more importantly, the assets. Everything we talk about is asset. And what is an asset? An asset is something that has something backing it. It has value. So the vast majority of assets are things that are that traditionally pay dividends. So a stock, as we know it, pays dividends based on its half annually profit and so forth. It's not too dissimilar to that. So our understanding is that yes, there are some assets like induspayments.com that also paying out dividends too, and again we believe it's USCD. So
DC.
USDC. Oh, I keep getting it all mumbled around the wrong way.
That's
But yes,
okay.
you're right.
Well,
You're right. You know what I mean.
We know.
Yeah.
Okay. The other question I had is, have other people communicated a frustration with support from Lobstr when
Is
you
zero
have?
support.
Yeah, so it's driving me crazy because I had just a simple transaction moving from the exchange FTX $200 worth of Ethereum to my Lobstr wallet, and it
Excuse
didn't
me?
show up the first.
Why are you selling Ethereum?
Well, I just swap it to XLM when I get there.
No. You swap it before you send it over. I mean,
Well, I don't think FTX has XLM.
Well, then swap
I
it
don't
to
think that
USCD,
exchange.
or swap it to USCD and
Okay.
USDC,
Okay.
and then
But so my
yeah.
point is, it because I mean I do have Ethereum in Lobstr. I mean, you
God,
can do that.
I hope it's the right one or it's real, because I literally steer away from all of that,
Okay.
because we know that
But the
Ethereum's
transaction
dead.
didn't, and maybe that's why the transaction didn't go through. But actually, anyways, when you create that support ticket, right? They respond back to say that they got your message, and then they create a support ticket number, right? But then if they don't address the issue for days, then if you
Weeks,
communicate
months.
again, you send the same problem, they actually generate another new ticket as if, right? So everybody's
Yeah.
kind of like just out there
And
not getting help.
this is exactly why we have the collective and other groups, because the bottom line is, and this is my gut feel, is that well, one, we know that Lobstr was nefarious, and it's been taken over by the white hats.
Okay, right.
We know that now, but also to think about it. We are learning to think for ourselves. We are learning to work together as a community. Gone are the days when you can do things without thinking and just be, you're told what to do, and you're not being a proactive learner or thinker. And this is where I think our group and QSI and others have real good value in that they are teaching us to think for ourselves and to work collectively. I think this group works really well. That's just my personal opinion, but everything's changing. Everything's changing. So I think we were really blessed to be where we are right now, in that we've gotten in so early compared to what the norm is going to experience on the other side, when they're awakened and they realize that everything's gone, in that the markets that we knew are gone, and Stellar is the preferred, it's the people's network, and there'll be a stampede. So like I've always said, 3 booms. Initial boom when we see a wallet after the event, or after come out of the whole 10 days of darkness, whatever it is. Then the second boom is the newly awakened coming into Lobstr, and the third boom is when we get access to all these technologies and funds to be able to create new products, new technologies, new services, and we invest in those companies and build those companies, and they will tremendously grow in value as well. So we are so early. Exciting though.
Okay, thanks.
Pleasure. Anybody else? Any other questions? Comments? Hey, Trudy. I love how you just got in.
By
Both
the
you.
skin of my teeth.
Yeah.
Brownie, I wonder whether we could have a nugget with some visuals on something like a glossary of terms and
Oh,
a
yep.
description. And I say that because, and I'm talking about the absolute brand new people who have heard about
Which
the
shares a lot.
collective.
That's right.
Yeah, and they are coming with a complete blank sheet. So they won't know what a trust line is. They won't know what SDEX is. They won't know that the Stellar blockchain. I think they need to, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I always
tend to
start at the
agree.
starting point. I just have to understand these things, and then I can take those building blocks and add to my knowledge from there. If I don't have that, it's like I've got a missing link, and I'm always feeling like I'm catching up. So I wonder, and I'm happy to put together some visuals, or if someone's good at descriptions or something like that. Yeah.
It's just a side, Trudy. Yeah, on our admin spreadsheet, we did come up with a whole bunch of called the Lobstr Dictionary, and we've got there's 56 different terms we've got in there, and you're right. I mean, I should literally go through each one. So do a nugget which is called and it might be 10 minutes long, a bit longer than normal. But if it encapsulates everything, then and look, a lot of what I did then, I did a lot more detail than normal just to explain things. But yeah, I could definitely see that being of value.
Yeah, and I think that if when you're saying SDEX, that something's flashing up, and it's going to take more than, I guess, a live nugget. It would need those visuals, but something is flashing up that's matching what you're saying. So if you're talking SDEX, people won't, if they're listening to that for the first time or watching it, they'll have no idea what that means. But if you have actually the actual domain to SDEX and explaining what SDEX is, or Stellar Expert, etc., I think that would go a long way, but it needs the visuals. Sorry, I keep harping on about visuals.
You can't just
but I
talk,
think
but
it needs the visuals.
I totally agree with what you're saying. You can't just
Yeah.
talk. You've got to be able to demonstrate. So a bit like what I just did, but in a lot more depth in the various, as you said, terminologies. I can definitely see that. And look, I've got everything open here, so it'd be enough for me to do that after this meeting, just to whack one out. I've got, as I said, I've got here the admin team have put together 51 different terminologies that I could quite easily run through and explain. So yeah, not a bad idea.
And I think it would help people who don't have English as their first language as well. And so you've got people that when the masses come in, you've got people from all different countries, different accents, and trying to get their head around these terms. That's where I think the visuals will be really useful.
Yeah. Thanks, darling.
No worries.
It's been on the back of my mind, but that's just highlighted it. So thank you so much. I get that a lot. What's happening?
A couple of thoughts.
Yes, please do.
If you make that video with the terminology, make it a part 1 and a part 2. That way, when you have to record one, because you have new terms in that half, you don't have to record the entire the entire one. If you add something new in the T's, then you just re-record the second half and add those new terms, or re-record the first half for something in the A's and the L's.
Yeah.
Okay. It may reduce some of the
well, funny enough, the admins have got this in an A to Z order, so yeah, I could quite easily do that parts. Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
The mobile Lobstr is critical in following along with your accounts, and some of the layout is slightly different, especially
Oh,
where it takes a little bit to find where that
The order.
little spot is that tells you how many orders you have and how many and how many thousand you have left.
It's,
And if you don't see it there in
Mm.
that one little dot,
Yeah.
you miss that. And because that's so useful, there may be just an addendum for a couple of the things that as you had mentioned in the first one, where it does them in reverse order, but it adds all of your orders. It doesn't cut it off at 200.
That's one good thing about the phone. Yeah.
And the slightly different location of turning on and off some of those check mark things that I didn't even know they were there. As much I've been using this for since the middle of last year. So I those are some new things that I had.
I know there's been some updates too, because I'm going, I never saw that before. So you're right. I mean, and of course, the funniest thing is when I go to coffee chats and someone's like, Brownie, help me out. Oh shit, bloody iPhone. I'm now starting to understand the layout of iPhone and Android. Again, they're different as well. So
wow.
Bring on the Q phone. That's all I can say.
Those were just some thoughts.
Yeah.
Keep up what you're doing. Great.
My pleasure. Thanks, sir. Glenn.
Brownie, great session today, mate. I really learnt a few new little idiosyncrasies around Lobstr, so that was
Which
good.
there are plenty of.
Yeah, which there are plenty of. So you got to kind of, play around with it, I guess, until you get, that unconscious or non-conscious learning. The question was, how do I get probably a simple one, how do I get the latest version of the spreadsheet? I noticed that I'm working from a 5th of September version, and you were talking about
which literally was, it was literally the current it still works now. Look, to be honest, that sheet's still up and it works. I created one last night, the 7th of.
okay.
It was just over. We had some issues with some nefarious things going on with these other channels. But at the end of the day, look, I mean, people are going to get the spreadsheet regardless of how you try and lock it down. But yeah, so that one you got there is fine. But yes, you'll always see the latest spreadsheet pinned into the top of the main Lobstr chat.
Oh, the top. Yeah. You know what? I was just in there looking at that, and I saw that pinning up the top, and I went, oh, I think I've answered my own question here. So it's yeah.
And the funniest thing is that because we're also, a lot of people are so new to Telegram, they don't know how to navigate and know that what pinned is and so forth. So actually, I might just stop the recording.